Hello and welcome everybody, welcome to another Premodern video. Today's one is, get your breakfast ready because we're gonna be playing a super spicy take on an old classic that I think it may just be real in Premodern. A very underexplored deck. Let's check it out. We're going to be talking about Cocoa Pebbles. This is a deck that used to be a classic combo deck back in the day, but the genesis of this and what got me interested in this is in one of the Discord channels. I can't remember who it was, but somebody mentioned that you could use Llanowar Elves to, with survival and anger in order to play, just pay one mana and then sack it and then get it back with Enduring Renewal. And this got me thinking immediately about, okay, this just takes one of the biggest barriers that this deck has, right? Because the reason that this combo hasn't really seen any play at all basically in Premodern is because you are in your combo deck sucks, right? Like your actual combo cards are absolutely heinous. They're like Shield Sphere, and then there's like a 0 mana 0/3. Like those are such bad magic cards, but you kind of have to play them because that's how you actually put your combo together. But now you can use your random mana dorks that you played earlier in the game, and all of a sudden, thanks to Anger Survival, you have your combo piece there. So now the combo, for those that don't know, is Enduring Renewal. Means that whenever a creature goes to the graveyard, you get it back into your hand, and then you combo that with Goblin Bombardment. So the idea is you make your Llanowar Elf, you pay mana, then you sacrifice it to ping your opponent for 1, you get it back to your hand, boom. Infinite. That's like super easy to assemble, and you don't even need that many slots because you can just use Academy Rector. This is a card that I have played with in the past, and I not that long ago got all my copies in paper, so pretty stoked to think about this card, and it's been on my mind lately. And I think that it's got a lot going on because the combo is fairly easy to assemble, and we only need like 1 slot for Enduring Renewal, and I'm playing 2 bombardments. This could even go down to 1. I have played Rector in a previous video as well, and I was playing 4 Carrion Feeders in that video. Here I am trimming all the way down to 1 just for it to be like a tutorable sack outlet. Then of course we have our 4 Cabal Therapies to force the combo through. But what really excites me about this deck is that there's a bunch of combos that just sort of fit together, and we can not only play them, for example, Will of Blossoms plus Therapy, Mesmeric Fiend plus Therapy as well. Then we have, we can actually use Yavimaya Elder for getting our basics and to get our mana online, which is kind of cute. Sharpshooter works really well alongside Golden Bombardment. Bombardment works really well alongside Deranged Hermit, and once again, we get to use some slot to play real magic cards instead of playing garbage. So we actually are able to, survival for a hasty Deranged Hermit or Exalted Angel. And also this is so genius. Like I showed this deck to McLean, and he suggested to add a singleton copy of Parallax Wave, and it kind of blew my mind. Like that sounds so strong. Not only because we already want to main deck Auramancer anyway, but we can get Wave off of Rector, and we can just loop this indefinitely while also getting a bunch of repeatable value with Wall of Blossoms. We can also go like Fiend, trigger on the stack, wave it, and get rid of the card forever. So we can also blink Deranged Hermits to get extra value. Like there is a bunch of EDBs with this deck already as is, and Parallax Wave supercharges them as well. So this deck has so much going on for it. I'm really excited to give it a shot. The reason I'm playing a main deck Thornscape Battle Mage is because of Meddling Mage, Withered Wretch, and Phyrexian Furnace that we can find in game 1. But yeah, game 2 and 3 we have access to much better tools, but Thornscape is basically like a one. Just the flexibility is just so valuable. The mana base is a little bit of a mess, so bear with me. This is the best that I could come up with so far without playing any actual matches with the deck. So this is definitely going to be a work in progress, but I think it's functional enough. And that's about the main deck. I'm still playing the singleton copy of Shield Sphere because sometimes you will not find your survival, or you can just tutor for it preemptively, and then you, like, if your anger gets exiled or whatever. But notably, Graveyard Hate is going to be good against us. Like Graveyard, we need a graveyard for or of our engines basically, and also for our combo. So that's why in the sideboard we have access to Gorilla Shaman, which gets rid of all the artifact based Graveyard Hate. And then we also have access to, you know, Octavia Orangutan as well, because this one can kill Dreadnought, the other ones don't. Then we have the Mesmeric Fiend, Bone Shredder, some actual good cards in Source of Plowshares, Ray of Revelation. Santid Swarm naturalizes Sonicrypt Apprentice, which is a pretty interesting one against Dreadnought, against Terrorvor as well. And finally, Engineered Plague and Sphere of Law. I thought of either Sphere of Law or Radiant Dragoons. Well, I wanted one red hate card, but Sphere of Law sounds so much better against goblins than the other one is, while also being, like, this means that if I resolve a Rector, my Sligh opponent basically can't attack anymore. So I wanted to make sure that I can leverage Rector. This beats Vortex, while Radiant Dragoon loses to Vortex, so... That could be wrong, but just know that that's the thought process. Okay, long deck tech, but lots to talk about with this deck. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you there for round number 1. Round number 1 against Field Bunch of Numbers. Man, this hand would be so sick if only I had a green source. Can I keep this hand in YOLO? Like, if I find a green source off the top, I think I have 17? Actually 15. Man, this hand is insane though. I'm gonna mulligan though. This hand is much worse. This one is alright. I can keep this. So I think I'm gonna bottom Angel and the Shield Sphere. Probably gonna need Cabal Therapy to clear the way down the line. Basic Island. Alright. Just gonna play my Foothills and pass the turn. No idea what I'm up against. That's actually a pretty fine draw, because it's something that I can happily jam into the counter spell, and I don't really care. So... it also works really, really well alongside this therapy. So this is kind of bait, but at the same time, it's really, really good for me if it resolves. So that was kind of like the perfect card to draw there. Phil is on Island Impulse. So this could be Dreadnought, this could be Stasis. Could technically be like Mono Blue Tide Control or something. Oh, so this now limits the options. This is probably just Dreadnought. If I find a black source, we may be kind of in business. Unless my opponent just combo Dreadnoughts right now. Gush's main phase, so this probably means that he's got the Dreadnought combo. Can go land. Oh no, interesting. So he's really digging. Also gonna go to this card unless he has the second portent, which he does. Okay, so he dodges going to this card, which is good for him. Can I find a black source? Yes. So Cabal Therapy, you probably gonna name Foil, so that if he has any, we can get rid of that. We got a foil. It's got Dreadnought Vision Charm as well. It's kind of annoying. So there goes that. So I probably have to Flashback Therapy naming Dreadnought just so I don't lose. Okay, so I'm gonna actually play the Survival here. Because he doesn't know, like, he can Daze, but then I can just Auramancer the Survival back, and this is actually gonna Time Walk, which gives me one more turn before I flashback the Cabal Therapy. So this is actually pretty nice. So if he Dazes here, now he's gonna be in a spot where, like, that's basically a Time Walk, and then next turn I can Flashback Therapy naming Dreadnought. Yep, and I can, because the Daze is no longer in his hand, I can Auramancer back the Survival. Pretty nice line there. Goes to cleanup, which is nice because I get one more card out of the deal. Rector. I could cast Rector and then Flashback Therapy with Rector, which gets Parallax Wave. Is that too cute? That may just be too cute. It's really tempting though. Yeah, I think it just uses my mana better. So let's play a Rector here. I guess this gets owned by Stifle. But it's kind of the same thing though. He can only Daze this, because if he foils then he doesn't have any more lands. So just gonna do this. I'm gonna say yes. We're gonna get Parallax Wave, which is really good value. So now I can just name Counterspell with this Cabal Therapy, because we don't really care about Dreadnought anymore. And then send the turn back. Boom. Full information. We play our lands to play around Daze. Cast Auramancer. Gonna get back my Survival. This is also pretty good value with the wave that I have in play. This was a multi-5, by the way. Not looking bad. Not looking bad at all. This is a combo, by the way. So if he finds foil, he kind of has to gush foil here, which is really bad for him. We are doing it, folks. Send the turn back. This turn we're going to cast our Survival of the Fittest. My best draw here would be, I think, another... Interesting, he impulses and response. I guess another Cabal Therapy is my best draw. Another Cabal Therapy would be nuts here, actually. Stifle would be quite annoying, though, because it stops my wave combo. That resolved. So, oh, I missed an attack. probably fine. So here we're going to Sligh plus Mesmeric Fiend. Stifles this? Really? Wow, very interesting. I have this combo in place and he goes for that? I'm very surprised. Just gonna jam the bombardment here, no reason not to. This does suggest that he's got another Stifle. Otherwise it's kind of a very big punt, if I'm being honest. I only know about 3 cards in his hand. He has 2 unknowns. Do I play around the second Stifle? Because I lose otherwise. Like I can go for it and just like draw a card. I guess I can wait 1 more turn and I may find Cabal Therapy. Carrion Feeder. Let's do this now. He had the second Stifle. Does that mean he has a third one? There's no way he's got a third one, right? You just can't have a third Stifle. It's the only thing I have going on, so I'm probably gonna go for it, but I don't think I can't not go for it. Replace the land. He's gonna go for it with Vision Charm. Okay, so this is the key turn. So I think if he has Stifle, this plays around Counterspell. I think I have to let that go. But I think it's likely he has Stifle. But again, like I'm in a mul to 5, and this is the only thing that I have going on for myself. So I think that I need to go for it. Now we're gonna see if he has Stifle or not. He doesn't. Okay, definitely getting that back. Bird. Yeah, let's do this. I can lead on Mesmeric Fiend. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's start by using survival here. Sligh, which now gets anger. And I think I'm getting Mesmeric Fiend. And I'm casting it right now. He can have foil, he can have like a variety of these different things here. Counterspell, ton of options, but it's getting there for 2, my bad. So now we're gonna take 12 down to 5. And once again, my best choice, Cabal Therapy. I think if I find Therapy, I may actually win this game. Hermit would be lethal. Deranged Hermit would also be lethal. I guess I can just go for it, but then I get owned by days. So if I'm gonna be tapping out for something, should probably just Parallax Wave, which effectively wins the game just the same, because it removes the Dreadnought. So Vision Charm. Choose a land type and the basic land type. Each land of the first chosen type becomes the second chosen type on the end of turn. What? So that takes my white source? But I have more white sources anyway. I don't understand what this Vision Charm does. So this is like basic. He makes my basic into like swamps or whatever. Islands. Considering what he's seen. Is that how this works? I'm not even sure what this is doing. I don't know, maybe I should have floated green here. So now it says chooses any for Vision Charm and then island for Vision Charm. I'm very confused. I have no idea what that did. We'll figure it out, I guess. Did that do anything at all? Cabal Therapy off the top. Ugh, no therapy. So I guess he has the counterspell or he doesn't, right? Because there's not really any way that I can survive. So I'd rather play around double days. If he can counter this, he wins. If he can't, then I win. Awesome. Wow. Mul to 5, baby. That was actually very impressive. I am very surprised by how good that was. Alright, let's bring in Octavi. Naturalizes and the extra Fiend. Source to Plowshares and the rest. Ooh, man, I have so much hate. This may be too much hate, actually. Like, do I even care about the combo this matchup? Just cut both bombardments and the renewal. Just not care about the combo at all. I think Exalted Angel's a little bit too awkward. I'm still gonna leave in Rectors because Wave represents kind of a kill by itself. Sharpshooter sounds unnecessary. Cut a bombardment. Monk Realist. Therapies are great. Birds are great. Thornscape is great. Elder is okay. Could cut a Hermit. Guess we don't really need anger. So let's cut it. Cut a Rector. I don't really want to cut Wall of Blossoms. Like it sounds like a pretty good enabler. I think I'm just gonna cut the bombardment. It just makes my Rectors worse because I only have 5 sack outlets now though. That may be fine. I'm probably just gonna Rector for either survival or wave anyway. Yeah, I guess this is okay. I'm gonna go with this. We'll see. Maybe cutting the bombardment is like one too many things. Very impressive game 1 though. Strong start for sure. Yeah, definitely keeping this. Slightly awkward that I kind of need to therapy on turn 1. Because like if my opponent turn 2 Dreadnoughts, then I just lose. Could also just accept that and just not play around that. If this hand were on the play though, oh baby, would be quite strong. It's also awkward because I need to therapy off the City of Brass. Opponent with the shuffle did not like what they saw. And I think I'm actually going to lead on that one instead. Like same problem as before, but now the upside is so much higher. My opponent can daze, kind of fine. Foil, just straight up foil. So aggressive. I mean, if they have Dreadnought land Dreadnought here, I'm super bad shape. But okay, looks like they don't have it. So my opponent kept on top. I think I will Cabal Therapy and on them Dreadnought. We don't hit. But they don't have the land, so I can't get combos this next turn. So let's play. Oh, I meant to play the Bird of Paradise there. I don't think it's going to matter, but it might. I don't think so. Opponent's looking for lands, does not find it. That's a really good pickup. So this gives me pretty much just total comfort, and I'm gonna be in good shape for a while. Oh yeah, well, I'm literally not scared of the combo anymore. I'm just gonna let my opponent do their thing now. Maybe I should have played the Carrion Feeder just as a to start beating down. Never mind, I'm a genius. I don't think I'm supposed to play around a null there. I think we just hang out, I mean. If they tap out, I think I'm going to do this now. Force him to waste his Stifle. Squee, discard this. And now we are in very, very good shape. What am I getting here? Just Mesmeric Fiend? Yeah, now this game is over. Wow, just 2-0 Dreadnought like that? Kind of insane. Let's start with Fiend, see what my opponent's cooking with. Maybe I should have attacked with the Llanowar Elf last turn. Counterspell, Daze, Gush. It's gonna take the Gush here, so I can play around literally everything else. Yeah, let's take the Gush, and I'm going to cast the Wall of Roots to further develop my mana. Now we start attacking. So now they have Counterspell up. Let's get Rector. What does Rector find? Just Parallax Wave. Guess I just get Mesmeric Fiend number 2. Yeah, there's no need for me to play into anything. We're just hanging out. I'm gonna slowly start to grind them down with survival. Fine pickup. Opponent just lets it resolve, which is interesting. Here we take the counter spell. We're gonna be able to flash back Flash of Insight this turn. I think that's okay. That's the turn again. Take it super slow here. Opponent does nothing. We draw another card. Guess I just get my Elder. Other alternative would be to get a Rector. Could just get a Raptor actually. That's a really good draw. So I guess we're gonna start on that. I'm gonna name Stifle with this one. So we know this hits. So there we go. A null. Okay. So we can flashback Therapy, or I can just use Rector to counter this counter spell, which allows me to do what? To use the Cabal Therapy to. I don't care about Vision Charm anymore. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna resolve the Rector here. And then counter spell. Let's play Rector here. And for 3, you can spend the turn to just discard the Flash of Insight if he wants to. None of his cards really do anything. Yeah, he's so far behind that he can't even throw away the Flash of Insight to do something. Which Squee. Probably gonna get Range Hermit now to close the game. Oh man, that's the one I was gonna go get. Damn it. Okay, so I guess like killing the Rector doesn't really do anything anymore. A little bit awkward. That's fine though. 3, pitch, wall, guess the Range Hermit. So this is just lethal next turn. He drew top deck counterspell? No. Is he looking for Gush? At this point though, I don't think there's anything my opponent can draw. Even if they stack their deck. I guess kill the Mesmeric Fiend with Gush under it. Do the thing there. Yeah, I don't know. Can't even daze this Hermit. He can effectively use the daze to counter my, just pay for this, counter my activation this turn. Second daze. Okay, sure. It's a hard way to do it, but I guess we play on. His hand is Annul, Vision Charm, 2 unknowns. Never mind, it's 2 islands. We have perfect information. I'm gonna decline to draw a card this turn. I think that's fine. So let's start by swinging. Speech Squee. I think I'm getting Apprentice. Well, I could just get Santis Farm. Why didn't I do this earlier? I should have done this like 17 turns ago. Honestly, I forgot I had the second copy, if I'm being honest. Foil, Pitching Island and all. So his last card is Vision Charm. Yeah, sure. Let's go. So I'm just playing 4 color control at this point. I love the fact that our hand is 3 cards that my opponent can't beat. And I can tutor for 2 more. I'm gonna say this has been a really, really, really good display. This very first game has looked spectacular. I think I'm just gonna naturalize here, so he doesn't gain 12 life. Second Vision Charm. Okay, this is gonna makes things a little bit more annoying. Like I do think I wanna do this. Sure, they gain 12. It's gonna take longer to kill them, but I don't think that's changing. Maybe I should have done it the other way around. So I guess this turn, Squee's gonna get Yavimaya Elder. Is that the fastest clock that I have left? What's the fastest clock I got? It is Yavimaya Elder. Man, that's rough. And we swing. Parallax Wave means I don't really care about another Dreadnought either. Gonna get back Sligh, Cabal Therapy. Guess I'm gonna use Address this turn. Dreadnought Island. Sure. Let's get Apprentice, cast Apprentice, Therapy, name Dreadnought. Last card in hand is an island. Look at this clock. Look at this clock. 6 points of damages. It's the island we knew about. He just cast a Dreadnought. I guess that means we got a concession, folks. We got the 2-0 actually. Very impressive first round. See you for the second one. On to the second round. This hand looks pretty good actually. Let's keep it. So we have survival. Let's see what we're playing against. Bloodstained Mire. You don't see that one every day. Is this goblins? So I was gonna say if this is goblins, we can just play Terra 1 Shield Sphere, which is pretty sick. But I guess I'm still gonna play it just to save damage. No. It's interesting because I kind of want to play the Wall of Roots on turn 2 anyway. So I do have to watch out for my life total. Do I want to save this to pitch? It means I'm able to assemble the combo much quicker though. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. I'm gonna take the 1 point of damage. This may be wrong. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna respect Cabal Therapy game 1. When it gets in there, there's the mountain and a passing of the turn. Okay, here we go. I'm not playing the survival quite yet because I'm planning to play the Rector on turn 3. Now that I have a second Rector. Incinerate. Oh, this is burn. Much worse for me. Still gonna block here, 100%. If they want to use 2 spells to kill my Wall of Roots. Well, now I'm very sad that I used City of Brass and did not use Gemstone Mine. I may get punished by that Vortex. Yeah, it's really bad. Okay, here we go. Man, had I played Gemstone Mine, we would be in such better shape. I'm actually going to play out the Shield Sphere. I do have actual ways to win from here, but I was assuming my opponent was going to be on goblins, which is definitely my mistake. Okay, so play a forest. So I'm at a virtual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at a virtual 4. I have to assume that I'm dead. I could survival and tutor for Monk Realist, and then I don't have creatures. So I guess I have to go get Carrion Feeder, right? 2 mana. That forces my opponent to... Yeah, I think that's the line. So... play survival. Actually, does Carrion Feeder do anything at all? It allows me to sack Rector, but I take 2 points of damage in the process. I can only take 1. Like I can make an infinitely large Carrion Feeder, but that doesn't really achieve anything for me. So I just pass the turn and hope my opponent doesn't have anything at all. Can't really attack with Rector either. No, they have Lightning Bolt. That's lethal. Funnily enough, we would have probably won. And this is like a situation why in the deck I said that I think the Sphere of Law may be better than this. Ping me for 1, and that's actually lethal. Okay. Game number 2. Definitely bringing that Sphere of Law to rest. I think I care about Ray of Revelation. Monk Realist is good. Stormscape is probably okay. Sharpshooter sounds reasonable actually. Don't think I care about the Range Hermit. Don't think I care about Plague. Probably care about Swords to Plowshares, like the Walls. Don't think I need Auramancer. Don't think I want Parallax Wave. I do care about keeping the combo in. So it's gonna be just 1 more card. Maybe cut the Mesmeric Fiend? Nah. Battle Mage? Nah, Battle Mage is fine. Rector sounds fantastic. Anger I probably need. Willow Blossom sounds great. Could just cut the Ray, just not have a Ray. Skeptical about that one. Very skeptical about that. Alright, yeah, we're gonna keep this hand. Void Void Therapy on turn 1. Because I don't really care about Jackal Pup. So I Therapy Lightning Bolt. Double Fanatic, Lavamancer. Okay, my opponent's hand is not particularly great. Also, they're kind of incentivized to lead on Mock Fanatic here, which is pretty good for me. Yeah, because otherwise I just Flashback Therapy and get him. Oh my god. Can I afford to time walk myself? No, I don't think so. It's gonna go Wall of Blossoms. Off of double. City of Brass. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. But my goal here, of course, is to just turbo out the Sphere with Foothills. Would love to not draw another City of Brass. Second Fanatic. Rainbow Amancer. Basic Forest. It's not a card I was expecting. Oh, baby. I would be taking 3 this turn from my lands down to 14. I mean, that's so much damage. Man, this is so unlucky. This is really, really unlucky. Do I have to stem the bleeding and time walk myself? I guess so. Like, I literally don't think that I can afford to take more damage. This is so brutal. Am I pinging here? Yeah, I think I'm pinging. Otherwise, the Lavamancer is gonna be maybe too much damage. Bolt Lightning. That's actually not that good for them. I just block. And then, well, good thing I played this bombardment, I'll tell you that much. So I only take 1 renewal. I mean, I can take 2. No, I think I saved the sharpshooter for later. I literally don't think I can do that there. So take 2. Man. Triple CD of brass. Lay out the curse scroll. Down to 10. Denaturalize the bombardment. That would be kind of brutal, actually. I mean, they should just save the naturalize for Sphere of Law. Price of progress. Gross. That's so much. Look at that. Do all of that in response to the to the thing. Yeah, I had no shot there. Unfortunately, I had no shot. Man, I was, I guess, 1 away from the kill. But yeah, I mean, obviously, triple CD of brass draw. I time walk myself just to not take 3 damage a turn. Yeah, there's no way I was getting out of that. Alright, see you for the next round. On to round number 3. This hand looks a little bit sketchy. I think I keep this though. And I'm gonna lead on turn 1 caves, but I'm not gonna play out the Carrion Feeder. I don't think there's any need to expose it to a removal spell or something. I definitely need to find the green source, however. Phyrexian Furnace? Yikes. Okay, that's very unfortunate. Very first card from my opponent to have. What is this? Scalding Tongues. You have 3 of your cards in hand. This target opponent or player. Okay, so that doesn't do anything. So it doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of choosing which removal spell I don't want my opponent to have. I guess I'd rather them not have Funeral Charm. Turn 1 Furnace is definitely not what I want to see. So there's the Innocent Blood. They get back the Funeral Charm. Mountain. Brutal. I'm just gonna pass the turn. I don't want to use this Carrion Feeder, I don't think. Gonna make me discard here. I think I just discard the Wall of Roots. Skittering Scourge in the house. Parallax Wave is not awful. I'm gonna actually play out the Carrion Feeder now. Take 1. Funnily enough, I could use Sligh to do some fun stuff. This is racing me though. Damn it. Sligh. No, we don't play out Sligh. Don't actually have control over whether I can get it back or not. This is an interesting card. I don't think I've seen a deck with that card before. Definitely wishing that I had a green source here. Believe it or not. Parallax Wave is gone. Cabal Therapy literally doesn't do anything. So there we go. My opponent has no idea how much work this Phyrexian Furnace is doing right now. Discarding their second Skittering Scourge. Tough life. Now my Rector. So now, there we go. Revival. Turn. Sacrifice. Element of a color. Okay. Knock worth card. I guess I can't really pitch Sligh now. The Range Hermit was discarded. And Gemstone Mine. So now I can do the thing where I force my opponent to make a choice. So I can just sack here. So if they want to allow me to... Oh, they just let me? Not expecting that, to be honest. Not really expecting that to work. I mean, I think I'm just dead anyway, but it was interesting at least. Definitely want these. Want that one. I don't think we want Swords of Plowshares. Probably want Mesmeric Fiend, but I don't think Duress is it. Wave is actually interesting. Probably going to yield a lot of value. Does not look like a sharpshooter matchup. Wall of Blossom sounds great. Wall of Roots sounds meh. Probably need the realist. Battle Mage would have been pretty decent actually. Maybe my line was too YOLO. Scott did the Range Hermits. I think I can keep the Exalted Angel. Seems hard. Actually, let's do the opposite. Let's keep the Range Hermit instead. Probably have Snuff Outs and stuff. But I mean, it's probably only just Snuff Out, because then Innocent Blood I can definitely play around. So yeah, let's go with this. And then Auramancer I love. Bombardment seems mid. What do I want to cut? Naturalize probably. Because I'd rather have a Ray than Naturalize. And just rely on my creatures. Oh, did I bring in Uktavi? I forgot about Uktavi. No lands, so we ship. Yes, lands. Guess I'm gonna bottom the renewal. Make Duress bad. That's the reasoning for pitching the renewal there. Funeral Charm. Okay, I'm gonna play that one out. 2 mana. The rack and the rack. I mean, I'm going to cast this, I think. Because if they just play a Bottomless Pit next turn, I'm super dead. You know, oh, I forgot to sack. I mean, it's 1 point of damage. I don't think that's gonna matter. Academy Rector would be a fine pickup here. So we're just gonna pass the turn now. Because there's no need. Also, my draws have been horrendous. Bottomless Pit. Does this stack like my opponent wants to? Probably does. Yeah. Send it back. Savil's Web. Doesn't do anything. I mean, we're kind of hanging out, I guess. That's bad for me. I take 4. It's a lot more than what I was taking before. Another Bottomless Pit. I'm surprised. Oh, they must have drawn that from the... This actually does not stop Rector. Planar Void, oddly enough. Planar Void is basically strictly worse than Phyrexian Furnace. I don't think I can win anymore. Still no idea what the white was for. Maybe just Gerard's Verdict. Another Planar Void. Yeah, I mean, just another reason why this card is not good. Looks like that's it. A little bit unfortunate. Our draws were absolutely horrendous. But yeah, see you for the 4th round then. GG's opponent. Alright, on to round number 4. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this hand. Can go turn 1 Llanowar, turn 2, depending on what my opponent leads on, we can go Therapy or we can go Elder. Set up our mana or set up our Rector situation. Or both. So turn 1 Llanowar Elf, opponent keeps 7. Basic Island. I guess I'm gonna play with my Elder here. If this gets staced, don't really care. But I don't know enough. Like, I don't want to Cabal Therapy. Okay, it gets staced. I don't want to get Cabal Therapy and then my opponent's not on, you know, they're not playing Dreadnought or whatever. I mean, it's gonna be Dreadnought or Stasis here, right? So let's play City of Brass. And I kind of want to Therapy now. So I think I'm gonna Therapy and I'm gonna name Counterspell. Hey, they are playing Stasis. Look at that. Got him. Now what? What's my game plan against Stasis? I think we play out the Feeder and not attack. Because my opponent, if they draw the other card, we get blown out. Okay, so then, there we go. Powder Keg. Parallax Wave. Does that do anything? Don't think so. I'm going to play Rector. Oh, I forgot to play my land. Not punished, but so send with Feeder. And I think I might as well sacrifice the Llanowar Elves. Now the question is, what do I get here? Because I kind of want to Flashback Therapy. I don't want to get Stasised, but I think I'm just going to go get Survival and just set up to play a longer game. Wow, they did have the Forsaken City. Very lucky for me that they didn't choose to go for that route. I feel like my opponent should have just played Forsaken City and just start to do Stasis things. Bombardment. Swing for 2. If my opponent cracks, looks like they don't. I think I'm just going to play Bombardment here. We're not in super good shape here, to be honest. One has 2 unknowns. Would love to draw any land at all. I'm gonna keep on keeping on with this Carrion Feeder. Do I tap out for Parallax Wave? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just hold on to my mana. There's Coliseum. Any creature. No luck. Swing. Play my land and pass the turn. And it's gonna get to a point where like they're just gonna have to crack this Powder Keg. Because otherwise, another survival. Well. It's gonna get to a point where just any creature thanks to this bombardment may end up being lethal. I think I'm gonna get a mountain. And we jam this wave? No, I don't know anything about my opponent's hand, so I'm just gonna sit here. No cantrips, no gushing, no nothing for my opponent. Another keg. It's a decent one. I don't think I do anything this turn. When I finally cracks it, I'm gonna do 1 point. And I think I just pass the turn. Opponent uptakes the keg. Black Vice. So now we're gonna start seeing some action. Pitch Rector, get Squee. Pitch Squee, get Anger. Pitch Anger. And I think we're just gonna get Mesmeric Fiend. We could just get a Bird of Paradise or something like an Elf. Fiend does. I think I'm gonna go for Wall actually. So Fiend is similar to Wall in that it represents a point with the bombardment. So let's play Wall. I assume my opponent's not going to counter this, but now it draws me closer to something like, oh, that's an interesting draw. I'm going to pass the turn, and I'm going to do more things on the following turn, I think. I want to try to make my opponent's mana a little bit awkward. So here I'm going to force the action. Let's go for Mesmeric Fiend, get back Squee. Caves of Koilos is kind of whatever. So let's go for Fiend. I imagine this gets countered. Opponent only 3 cards left in hand. It's not that many. Thwart Hardcast. Okay, so now let's go with Sharpshooter. This is another card that is pretty deceptive. Like, it feels like it doesn't do that much, but it actually kind of really does. I'm gonna pay 1 and send the turn back again. So if they have Stasis exactly this turn, then that may be a problem. But if we get to untap, I think we're gonna win. There's the Stasis. Black Vice. 1 card left in hand for opponent. Opponent continues to hit land drops. Bird is a great draw, just because it replaces itself. And now it represents 1 more ping with the Sharpshooter. Llanowar Elf would be another great draw. Tap, still taking nothing from Vice. Land is pretty good. Pass the turn. So 2 mana represents 1 damage, I guess? 2 damage. So I get to pitch Squee and then get an elf. Assist, we have 6 points of damage. That's a pretty good draw. Pretty fantastic draw, actually. So now we have lethal. So my opponent needs to crack the powder keg, reach Squee to get a Llanowar, and cast the Llanowar elf. Go to combat, swing with Llanowar. That's the turn. And now I think I have lethal. So I ping first. Then this goes on the stack. Yeah, I think this is just lethal, thanks to the sharpshooter. And I don't think there's anything my opponent can do. So I just sack everything else in response. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's lethal. And I don't think they were thinking that the sharpshooter was going to be that big of a deal, because I can also sacrifice the sharpshooter itself. Chain of Vapor, their own Stasis. Ping, ping there. So there's already 3 on the stack. And there's a couple more here. So that's 4. One more ping. And now bombardment your face. 2 bombardment triggers on the stack. And that should be good enough. Alright, so we did exactly what we expected to do with sharpshooter. This is why we ran it in the main deck. Sideboard against Stasis. We like more discard, Duress, Gorilla Shaman sounds good, Santid Swarm sounds fantastic, Naturalize and Race, Hermits and Exalted Angels. I don't think that's what we want to do. Parallax Wave also is going to get out. Shield Sphere is interesting. Sideboarding here is going to be quite tricky. I feel like it's going to be tricky with every matchup. Like, we really just saw how good Sharpshooter can be, so I think I'm going to keep it. I'm going to cut the Thornscape, that this is just too inefficient of a way to answer Black Vice. Octavia Orangutan is 1 less mana. Rector sounds good. Do I even care about the combo is the question. Is this a combo matchup? Doesn't seem like it is. Let's just cut these. Bombardment really overperformed. Anger. Do I care about Anger? Probably not. Maybe cut a wall. Or the bombardment. Let's cut a bombardment. Definitely got a little bit lucky last game, because my opponent also did get a little bit lucky. They top decked the Stasis at a very good point, but we also got kind of lucky because they never found the Gush. Turn 1 Vice is certainly strong. Let's go with Caves of Koilos and we're gonna do Rest. Gush, Brain Freeze. What? Thalakos Drifters? Okay. Sure. Gush. Let's take the Gush. Send the turn back. Wall of Blossoms is interesting. I can use this turn to resolve survival. I think I'm just going to naturalize this Black Vice. Is that even good? I don't think it is. I think I'm just going to attempt to resolve survival. The alternative would be to go for Wall of Blossoms there. Thalakos Drifters is kind of annoying, actually, especially with my very awkward hand of double City Brass. This is the second time this has happened. Previous time happened against Burn, which is not where you want that to happen. Curse Totem. So play my land. Uktabi here. I think I'm just gonna blow up the Black Vice. Matters more right here than the Curse Totem. Curse Totem kind of doesn't do anything, actually. Impulse main phase. That's good for me. Means that they're looking for lands. And now I can go. That's a pretty nice pickup. So I'm just gonna pitch Auramancer and Fiend. Have only 1 unknown. I think I'm gonna go for Squee, actually. Now we pitch Squee, get Fiend, cast Fiend. Their last unknown is a Daze. That's gonna suck for us, but if it isn't, we're kinda cooking. Latnam's Legacy. Whoa. Do we have to pick up to get the Thalakos Drifters here? Because this is a 3-turn clock. Cost them a card every time. I'm gonna take the Latnams, actually. This may be a little bit greedy, but opponent taps out next turn to cast the Drifters. Oh, they actually can't activate it. The Curse Totem is it's blanking the Drifters. That's hilarious. That's very, very funny, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna save this because it has quite a bit of value, actually. So let's do this to redraw. Rector is very nice. Pass the turn. This is my issue with Brain Freeze. Like, if it doesn't line up, it's just a dead card. And we're saving the Naturalize for, what's his name? The Stasis. Untap. What are we getting? Guess another Fiend? Ooh, Santid Swarm. Yeah, that's the one. Not a bad pickup. So let's go Ball Therapy. Thwart, bouncing 3 lands. Sure. That is 2 spells cast this turn. I get milled for 12. Sure. Just gonna play out the Santid Swarm. And I'm gonna save the Caldera for a turn where I want to do something more impressive. Actually, no, never mind. I already have Stasis covered, so let's play out the Caldera right now. Yep, like this. They basically discarded a card. Actually, let me go pitch to get the. Oh, I already used the Octavi. Never mind. Okay, so what do I want to save then? The Monk Realist. You don't have the combo anymore. I'm gonna get the Sharpshooter. We want to hope that my opponent does not mill. They didn't. And that they don't mill the one red card, the bombardment. So now this allows me to swing with Scented Swarm. Oh, there we go. Swing with Swarm. My opponent wants to do something, they have to do it right now. And this sets up to effectively win next turn. I mean, not effectively win, but just lock up the game. Sharpshooter. I was definitely not expecting Thalakos Drifters. It made the game a lot more awkward, because I couldn't just like straight up naturalize the Curse Totem, or I would risk getting raised. One just does nothing. Just gonna swing with Scented Swarm, as one does. That resolves. Now naturalize the Curse Totem. Play a bird because might as well. Ping, bombardment, sack the wall, tap, ping. Perfect. Now send it back, and now we can finally start attacking for the full amount. Still have Ray of Revelation in the graveyard, so Stasis doesn't really do that much. Another Curse Totem is a little bit annoying, actually. Sucks a little bit for me, but we're going to pitch Sligh. Can afford to take some damage here. I was definitely not expecting Curse Totem. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the other effect. I'm just gonna get Llanowar off. Just something that can swing for 100% more damage. Sligh comes back. That's a good pickup. Play Llanowar. And I guess there's no real reason to do anything here. So we're just gonna swing with those bros. Just untap. The Coliseum on end step. I could resolve the Curse Totem here. Just blow it up. I think I want to. Yeah, I think I want to. Because this actually unlocks my mana. If they have Chain Vapor, they can chain their own Curse Totem. Bounce my Sharpshooter. That's fine. Huh, I do wonder if that was actually a spot for them to bounce Stasis. Sure. They know that I have Ray of Revelation. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Ray on their upkeep. Force them to pay 1. Actually, I'm going to Ray on their end step. Because Rain on their end... Okay, I'm going to Ray now. Because Rain on their end step actually plays around Thwart. So this is the turn where we... This is the moment where right now my opponent cannot thwart. 2 islands, end step. Let's pitch Sligh. I guess we're gonna get another bird. Another Llanowar. Oh, Wall of Roots is interesting too. Let's get Llanowar. Bounce back. Swing with the dudes. Play Llanowar. And I think I'm gonna play Sharpshooter. And might as well play the bird. Send it back. And we're looking pretty good now. Even in the face of a Stasis, I just wait until I... Yeah, this is fine. Just wait until I untap and the Sharpshooter is no longer summoning sick. And I just shoot. Swing for 1. No, I guess I should have attacked with this Scented Swarm to log it up. Don't think there's anything that my opponent can do though. Oh, no more fetchables. There. Guess I should have. I forgot that we actually got Brain Freeze this game. Seems like an eternity ago. But yeah, this looked like pretty good. Force my opponent to pay. Stop on their upkeep. Ping you opponent. Ping you again. Sacrificing the Octavi. Tap my dude. And get there. 2-0 over Stasis. Well, we kind of have been owning the blue decks today, so that looked pretty good. See you for the next round. Alright folks, welcome to round number 5. This hand looks pretty good. We have a pretty decent defensive hand, I guess. So turn 1, Bird of Paradise. Would love to see something like a Cabal Therapy. Obviously our Restory Survival. This looks quite decent overall. Opponent turn 1 opt. I'm assuming some sort of... Yeah, I have to assume that's some sort of Dreadnought deck. So let's go for Elder here. It's more mana efficient. There's an argument for playing Wall of Blossoms there, because there's the potential that we draw a Cabal Therapy off of it, and then we can just Wall of Blossoms. Main phase Impulse. This could be Stasis, but Opt is weird in Stasis. I don't think it's main phase Gush. Wait, what? Now they're just gonna go to discard. Another down, they're back 2 lands? I'm very confused by that line. Okay, I'm not gonna ask too many questions. I'm just gonna play Wall of Blossoms. And then I really want to find some sort of disruption. That's maybe like the one thing that may want me to make me want to do something else. Do I sack Elder this turn to draw some cards? I guess I can just play the bird. This uses my mana slightly less efficiently, but I don't care about holding the creature in hand because I already have Sligh. Yeah, these are not super great if I'm being honest. Can't really play this Enduring Ideal. I'm just gonna swing for 2, and then I'm just gonna crack this guy main phase. So let's find a mountain and a plains, and then draw. Perfect. Good draw. Definitely a good draw. So we're gonna name Phyrexian Dreadnought with this. Don't hit. So my opponent's hand is a little bit on the clunky side. I guess I flash back and name Stifle here, just to prevent my opponent from doing much else. I'm definitely surprised that they, by their play on the previous turns. But okay, I mean, they don't have a counter spell, no foil, no real protection here. We don't have anything going on for us, so at least there's that. But just go land and impulse. My opponent should start to do some stuff on my turn. They're just doing that on main phase, which makes no sense. Oromancer doesn't actually do anything here. Man, this is super awkward. Like, my opponent could have some sort of counter magic, so I can't really do anything here. I just have to pass the turn. Because they have counter magic, I can't just play the Oromancer for no value. Okay, they found the Dreadnought, and I guess they also found an enabler spell, Vision Charm. Alright, so their hand is Gush, Daze, Flash, one unknown, and we draw another blank. It's not looking great, so we're just gonna have to pass the turn again and take an attack for 12. At least my opponent does not seem to have any sort of interaction with us, so if we find a survival +1 to pitch, and then I need 4 to destroy this, yeah, I think we're just toast. We just drew too many blanks for way too long. There's a survival. Just exactly the last turn. A little bit too late. We know there's days, so let's see if there's something we can do here to interact with this Dreadnought. We have Rector, but no sack outlet. If we play Shield Sphere, that protects us for... we take 7, we go to 1. Okay, so we're gonna take Mesmeric Fiend first. Then we're gonna cast the Fiend, so we see what my opponent's cooking with. Then I'm gonna pitch the Monk Realist, and I'm gonna get the 06. Load 3 mana. And they Gush, and they foil. Pitching Island, Daze. They don't pitch the Flash of Insight. I guess they're using this 3 mana to cycle that. So green to pitch the Monk. I guess I don't have enough. I don't have enough toughness anymore. On an impulses, probably looking for Stifle. It did resolve. So if I get Shield Sphere, we still take lethal. I guess I can technically like cast Wall of Blossoms and draw exactly into Shield Sphere, and that should be enough to grant me 1 more turn. Of course, assuming my opponent doesn't have Daze. They pitched the Daze though, so they have a second foil. That's enough. On to game 2. Yeah, unfortunately we drew blanks for too long there. But our sideboard game plan against this deck is super strong. So let's go for that. Let's bring in all of our beefy cards. We're gonna cut the Exalted Angel. We're gonna cut the Renewal package. Monk Realist. Bombardment, we're just gonna leave the 1. Shield Sphere is gonna go. I guess I cut Anger last time, since we're not comboing. We could cut a Llanowar, could cut Sharpshooter, maybe another Llanowar. And I guess Naturalize is the least efficient form of interaction I have access to, so maybe cut that. Alternatively, I could just cut the Bombardment, but that leaves me in a spot where my Rectors are really hard to enable. Naturalize does answer Tithe if my opponent is on the Tithe plan. It also answers Powder Keg. Could just cut Bombardment, and now I have Feeder and Therapies to sack my Rector. I guess that's fine. Rector is there to get Parallax Wave, right? Only reason. On the play. This looks very good, so let's keep this hand. What to name on 1 is quite interesting. So let's Therapy, and I think I'm gonna name Daze. Annul would be the other possibility. Foil? So aggressive. I'm super into that. That sounds very good for me. You go Island and Portent. I'm just gonna jam this Survival on turn 2. Like, I'm not super stoked about it, but I don't think I can just play around Daze forever. It just snap resolves. Okay, that's very good for me. Opponent looking for lands. It's very good for me. Opt. Now it's gonna be a question. I think I'm gonna pitch the Thornscape here. Bird. Okay, let's play the bird and pass the turn. Feels kind of okay for me. Curse Totem is gonna get destroyed. So I guess now I'm just gonna pitch the Rector, because I can use Thornscape to destroy that. So let's get Squee, and now we can pitch Squee, go find Mesmeric Fiend, and cast the Fiend. One can Daze or Stifle this, but I think that's okay. Annul, Counterspell, Stifle. Take the Counterspell. Swing with the bird for value. So now they draw Gush. You could draw if that's the case, but still kind of okay with my spot here. Replay on that. So they have an island and these cards in hand. Nice pickup. Super nice pickup. So we're gonna do res first. Foil. Pitching Island, Annul. Sounds really aggressive to me. So their hand is Stifle plus Unknown now. There's no reason to play the Llanowar, so I'm just gonna draw another card. Use Survival, pitch Squee. Now, I mean, Survival's just gonna run away with this game here. Gonna keep drawing more cards, keep dismantling my opponent's hand. That's a really good draw. So we're gonna go discuss the Fiend. This is gonna mean that I take 1 more point of damage, but I think that's acceptable. Foil, foil, stifle. Now we're definitely taking that stifle. And now we can Cabal Therapy naming foil. Seems good. Seems okay. You boys get in there. I mean, this time I could have been getting Sanded Swarm, but there's no reason to. Top the Gush. I mean, literally best possible thing they could have drawn there. Point Impulses with the mana. Makes sense. Another land is great. So now we get to... We're gonna get a Wall of Blossoms, I guess. Oh, Sanded Swarm. This is the turn we swarm. So this guarantees that for the remainder of the game, we don't really care. And here, I guess this turn I'm just gonna... I could actually use this Llanowar Elf to go get something else. But I am planning to naturalize this Curse Totem, so I already have 2 answers. So even if my opponent Dreadnoughts, I still have the Thornscape, and I can go get Uktabi. So now we're just sailing. Smooth sailing from here. Fine draw. Not that we need it. Yeah, let's go with that. Trigger Swarm. That gets destroyed. Get Uktabi. Cast Uktabi. Destroy Totem. Just playing 4-color survival control here. Dreadnought. If they naturalize, I'm going to... If they Vision Charm, I'm going to naturalize. If they don't, okay, they do Vision Charm. So I'm just going to naturalize here. And that should be game. Even if they dazed, I still have outs. Because I can just do some chomping. And then next turn, Sanded Swarm plus Battle Mage. I can also just go find... I can just Rector plus Flashback Therapy get Parallax Wave. So... definitely not concerned about anything there. Play a land. Let's continue the beating down. Let's get a Rector. And with everything, I might as well play this wall. There's literally nothing I'm scared of, so I'm just gonna chill here. I just play the Rector just because my opponent knows about it already. I pitched it to survival earlier in the game, and this just locks it up. Like, I don't need to resolve a 4-drop. On to game 3. This setup seems okay. Curse Totem is interesting for sure, but I don't think it changes my sideboarding. Rector number 3 I'm not super stoked about, but I don't think any of my other cards is better. Maybe a Llanowar? I think on the draw I'm just gonna go for the Llanowar instead, because I don't want to fall too far behind. This hand looks pretty decent. So turn 1 Bird, turn 2 we can Uktabi or Thornscape Apprentice. Opponent chooses to not shuffle. Turn 1 Bird, go. Maybe I should have turned 1 Thornscape, because there's only Daze that my opponent can have there. The Vision Charm. Pretty annoying actually. The Gush. Makes no sense. My opponent's doing stuff main phase. They should just relax a little bit and just, you know, wait. There's no reason to expose what their plan is going to be. So here, play my land, play a Thornscape, play a Llanowar, and send the turn back. I'm holding on to the fetch because I don't know what I want to fetch. And if my opponent stifles this, then that's great for me. Important main phase. Take 12. They're gonna draw the card. That's a nice pickup. Do I want to play around foil or do I want to play around Daze? I can do one or the other, but not both. So I'm going to have up to 5 mana. I can play around foil by playing Mesmeric Fiend. I think it's better for me to play Mesmeric Fiend, actually. So let's play Caldera. Bounce this. Because this, I guess, if they have a Daze or foil, I can play around one of them. Or they have nothing. That's good for me. So I'm just going to take the Gush. If I take the Gush, they can't draw into foil. Or if I take the Dreadnought, then I can blow up this Dreadnought. I think I'm going to take the Gush, actually. And then force them to find a Stifle. Because otherwise the Thornscape is going to tap their dude forever. So they play their island. There's the Dreadnought. And they have the Vision Charm. We do lose to Stifle here. We only have 5 mana, so I guess we can't really do much. So we're just going to swing with these dudes. And then tap Dreadnought on my opponent's upkeep. Hoping they didn't find a Stifle. Next turn, we can potentially drop a Hermit. They have 1 unknown right now. 3 mana. Flash of Insight for 1. So this makes it really likely that they find a Stifle next turn, which is bad for me. At least I can have 9 power worth of blockers. So I can do 9... Play my land. Let's think about this, because I think I can go Hermit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play the ranged Hermit. This is 9, 10, 11, 12. So I can trade with the Dreadnought, but then I'm not setting up lethal for next turn. I can also block with, make them waste a Stifle, then block with enough to not die, which would be 3 squirrels. I think I have to think about potentially trying to win the game. So I'm just going to swing. This means I'm not going to be able to trade. So now they can tap target creature. Now they can flashback, Flash of Insight, and stifle this if they find it. Impulse instead. Stifle would have looked at one more card. This does stop them out for the turn, however. Vision Charm. That does not do what you want it to do, opponent. That's literally the same as if I had tapped the dude. So now we could just swing for lethal. Spay Echo. And this is why I really wanted to attack there. I wanted to make sure that if my opponent doesn't find it, I actually have lethal on the crackback. Opponent says GG's. That was pretty good. That was pretty good, not gonna lie. We kind of did exactly what this deck is trying to do. You know, post sideboard, we have access to these like B plan that is quite legitimate. I mean, just dropping 9 power is no joke. See you for the last round. And finally, we move on to the last round. This one is interesting. We're on the play. I think this hand doesn't really do anything though. Like, we get to therapy twice and that's about it. So I think I'm just gonna ship it. This hand does look better. This hand does look better. So I'm gonna keep this, and I think I'm gonna bottom the Hermit, and I'm gonna go turn 1 Swamp, and then drop a Survival on turn 2. Basic Forest into Llanowar Elf. That's a pretty decent draw against Llanowar Elf. I think I actually want to play Wall of Blossoms here. Or, I don't, actually it's much better to play Survival, and then this coming turn go Survival, Pitch Wall. Oh no, never mind. Maybe it was better to play the Wall of Blossoms. I'm not sure, honestly. But I need the engine. We only have 1 creature here. I think it was better to keep the second Survival because we don't know whether the Survival is going to be surviving. Hey, you know. Pretty good. But my goal is to try to get... that's a nice one. Because now I can just go past the turn, pitch, wall, get Squee, pitch, wall, get Anger. And then next turn I can play the guy with haste. Sharpshooter. So if I don't lose this turn, I'm gonna be good to go next turn. So if they do something like play Nantuko Bro, then I think that's gonna be enough for me to win. Okay, so they're just regular elves. Pitching Acolyte, get Anger, pitch Anger. No mountain though. There's the Granger. Cradle, Acolyte, draw for turn. There's the Granger. Mountain, swing for 4. And then we just clear the board. This is all acceptable. Not gonna be able to kill the Granger, unfortunately, though. So, Wall of Blossoms, get Squee, pitch Squee, get Anger, untap, get back Squee. Does that change anything? Because I can play that one for free. I think I want it. It's more mana for next turn. And I don't think my opponent's gonna have access to their own Sharpshooter game 1. And now we pass the turn. Opponent can now pay Echo if they want to, which they do. Which makes sense, because there's not that many creatures in their deck that survive this Sharpshooter. But next turn I'm just going to play Bombardment, and that's going to be it. No attacks. Untap. That's a free one, so I like that. Pitch, Squee. We can go get Mesmeric Fiend here, or I can go get Rector. If I Rector, I don't have a sack outlet, so I guess there's no reason to get Rector right now. But it's much better to Fiend. We can play Bombardment into Fiend. An opponent concedes. Yeah, because now what I was going to do is play Bombardment, then I Mesmeric Fiend, trigger on the stack, sack the Fiend, which is going to give me 1 more Sharpshooter trigger, and that allows me to kill the Granger, then my opponent doesn't have anything anymore. Engine in the Plague, we like that one. Ray is cool, pretty much it. Do I have any bad cards? Deranged Hermit's probably unnecessary. Uktabi kills Masticore, that's really it. Do I care about Ray? / is Ray better than Monk? Probably not. Wave seems reasonable. I don't think I want a second Fiend, at least not on the draw. Anger sounds great. Plow? Do I even care about Plow? I do think having access to the combo is going to be important this match, so I'm not going to cut any of these cards. Especially Bombardment sounds absolutely unreal here. So this is going to be like a heavy Rector matchup, which is the reason that I don't want to cut therapies. I want my door. Thornscape is the only card that is kind of meh. Does kill Masticore. It's probably better to have access to the option to shock and the extra mana. Maybe this is not right. Not sure. Sharpshooter is fantastic, as we just saw. I kind of want the Exalted Angel as a way to close the game. Just closing it in the air. I just don't think I need it though. I think I'd rather have the 1 Hermit than the 1 Exalted Angel. Yeah, seems like a pretty decent draw. I think we go with City of Brass. This is great news for me. Them not having an actual dork on turn 1. It's like a very big deal. Pretty good for me. Second Survival. So here's my Llanowar. Turn 2, we have a question. We can go Survival plus Feather to set up Rector on turn 3. I definitely want to play out the survival to force my opponent to spend their turn answering my survival and not doing anything for themselves. Yeah, I'm just gonna go survival plus feeder. This allows me to turn 4. Well, actually, that's better. So now we're just gonna go feeder plus Llanowar. This pretty much guarantees that I can play Rector and get Engineered Plague on the following turn. Unless my opponent goes like Masticore into just go nuts. Had we been on the play, it's gonna be a little bit awkward that Plague is gonna kill my own mana dorks. So that's kind of weird, but it's not much I can do. And obviously, it's gonna be a lot better for me than for my opponent if there's an Engineered Plague in play. Maybe I shouldn't have played the second Llanowar, actually. Should have held a Llanowar to pitch to survival, because now I cannot actually get the engine going. They have survival of their own, though, so we're gonna do some stuff here. Oh, Priest counts my own elves? Yeah, I totally missed that. Totally missed that. I could have sacked at least one of my elves to grow the feeder. Yeah, this was a huge punt, actually. Totally failed to think about this. So now my opponent should untap. That's a mistake, because now their priest taps for less mana. I mean, it doesn't matter, like I can't win anymore, like this Masticore's just gonna own me, and my opponent's gonna actually have access to their priest, so it's not really like it matters. Oh, they already used the Korean Ranger, never mind. Tormod's Crypt. That also answers my Academy Rector, so I guess that means we are kind of SOL. Display Gemstone Mine, cast Survival. That was definitely a misstep on my part. I should have held on to the Llanowar Elf, and that would have meant that I have something to pitch now, and that would have been 2 less mana for this Priest of Titania. So honestly, I didn't even stop to think about the fact that this priest was going to count my own elves. So Bird of Paradise confirmed better than Llanowar Elf. I pitch Sligh. It's an Acolyte. One has access to 6 mana here. I think I'm actually good to concede now. I don't think I want to like show them anything. Even if I find Engineered Plague at this point, my opponent's just so far ahead that it doesn't really matter. Thus, Tormod's Crypt make me want to... I think I want access to Gorilla Shaman. Either Shaman or Uktabi. I think I actually prefer Uktabi, since Uktabi also allows me to answer the big... And I guess I'm making that switch with the Deranged Hermit. Yeah, that sounds fine. Now we're on the play. What do we have? Not the best hand I've ever seen. I think I'm going to ship this. This sounds much better. Keep this, bottom the wave. We're probably going to Fiend on turn 2. Alternative would be to Survival, but I think I'd rather go Fiend. Foothills, pass. Would love to draw 1 more land. This time around being on the play, huge difference. Turn 1, Symbiote. Definitely a fine draw there. So let's play Mesmeric Fiend. Get Forest, some Fiend action. Let's take a peek at that hand over there. See what my opponent's cooking with. Double Naturalize, Acolyte. I'm just gonna take the Acolyte. I'll just take the Survival. They do have their draw engine, which definitely is bad for me, but at least I can Plague. This is very interesting. So I can play Plague, probably name Elf, or I can Survival and pitch the Llanowar. This effectively time walks my opponent and allows me to get probably Auramancer. Yeah, I think that's right. So now this turn, it's gonna be my opponent's gonna spend it. Gonna bounce the Acolyte on my end step, and now they have to spend their turn naturalizing my Survival, which is not ideal, but it's okay. Fiendhorn to Cradle. It's pretty good for them. So are some pretty good 2 draws for them to have had there. Just gonna get Auramancer here. Spend 1 turn to Plague. Opponent's gonna bounce their Fiendhorn. That sucks. Could name Insect with this Engineered Plague. At least trade for something. Like, they have to bounce the Fiendhorn anyway. So it's effectively a time walk. And it finally gets rid of their draw engine. So I think I'm gonna name Insect against all odds. Swing for 1. Play the Acolyte. Probably looking for a land so they can naturalize in the same turn. Maybe they don't even care about naturalizing. Replay the Fiendhorn. That represents a lot of mana for next turn. It's a fine pickup, I just really wish I had a land. Let's play Auramancer, get back our Survival. And now it's gonna be a little bit tricky. I really want to set up Anger, but I don't have sufficient time to do so, nor sufficient mana. But at least as of right now, I have stopped both of my opponent's engines. But without finding land drops, we are going to fall a little bit behind, unfortunately. Morph. And another Cradle. And Survival. Man, some good draw steps over there. Yikes. That's so bad for me. We cannot, for the life of us, find anything over here. And our opponent's drawing nothing but gas. A little bit unfortunate. Guess we're gonna have to spend this turn just getting something. Would have liked to spend that turn dropping Carrion Feeder. The problem is that's not really getting me anywhere. Opponent's hand is Sligh, Naturalize, Unknown. We haven't even found the Cabal Therapy, unfortunately, which makes things super awkward, because even like a therapy would have been great. Oh, that's funny. Insect actually affects the Vigilante. Hilarious. So having found this would have been great, because it would have at least allowed me to pull a little bit forward. Like at this point, I can't even go for Sharpshooter because my opponent can just Masticore. So I think I have to go get Monk Realist. Like I can't even play the Carrion Feeder to set up a sack outlet for the Rector. Just all in all, super awkward on every aspect. 3 mana, opponent should probably go get a Priest here. Can't put Sharpshooter into play still, which is really awkward. They forgot that there's a Plague in play. I mean, that's kind of what I needed to win, to be fair. I needed my opponent to mess it up. That's exactly what needed to happen. Opponent got a little bit ahead of themselves there. Also, look at that baby 2-1 Vigilante, right? I mean, I'm definitely trading if they offer the trade, right? Like, that means that 1 less mana for Cradle. Land. Bird. Okay, so I guess this turn we're just going to go Realist into Bird. And finally have a little bit more mana for the upcoming turn. Destroy my opponent's survival, play a Bird of Paradise, send the turn back. Going through a whole jockeying for position situation over here. Definitely got lucky that they forgot about the Plague, because they could have already have got a Masticore at that point. They have another survival? Vomit. Okay, all is still not lost, because what I can do now is I can go, if I find a land, I can go Feeder into Rector and then get Bombardment. Bombardment then allows me to destroy my opponent's entire board and go from there. Really hindering their mana development. And then I can play Survival and I can start hoping to achieve something. Okay, so they go for the Granger. Other alternative, by the way, would be to go for, if I need to find a land. Okay, perfect. So can I now go for Parallax Wave? Wave allows me to bounce my dudes, but I guess I can't really get them back. So it has to be Feeder into wipe their board just to keep them low on mana. So sack Rector, say yes, go get Bombardment, bombard the Dark, bombard the Acolyte. I really don't want to blow up the Auramancer. Can I do something else? I guess I can pitch the Bird. Cannot really need the Bird though. This is really awkward. Get the Acolyte, and I guess I'm gonna take the Vigilante as well and give them the survival back. Like, it's not like I can, they already have a survival, which I have no answer to, so I think that I have to assume that now survival is just gonna be there. Okay, so that's going to slow down their development a little bit. They also have to pay Echo for this boy, and they can't really do anything until they answer the Bombardment, which means I can finally drop a survival and attempt to do something. They pay Echo. Very interesting. This game has been extremely interesting. Should probably attack. Okay, no land too, notably. So what are we doing here? Play survival for sure. And it's activated right now. Pitch Squee. What can we get? Wall of Roots. Anger's also interesting. Wall of Blossoms is interesting. Another Dork is interesting. I guess I'm just gonna get Roots. Blossoms, I mean. Draw a card. It's something else I can pitch to start to do some more bombardment stuff. Another Blossoms. Feeder is gonna get in there. Awkwardly enough, I cannot pitch both of my dudes to destroy the Granger, because I need to actually respect my opponent being able to go get a Priest and make it hasty. Pitched Anger. So I guess now I can kill this Granger? This Granger represents 2 mana, 1 from the Priest and 1 from the Gaia's Cradle. So if I kill it now, yeah, but that actually cost me by Birds of Paradise, which I don't want to. So that doesn't quite work, unfortunately. They naturalize Survival instead of Bombardment. Definitely great for me, I'll tell you that much. So they get a Crypt and they exile everything. If I find a land, I can go Survival, pitch Wall, get Anger, then Anger, get the other guy. Okay, cool. I guess I don't even need to do that. I can now just go get Sharpshooter. Play Sharpshooter. And this allows me to kill the Granger while growing the Carrion Feeder by 1 for more value. Oh, I don't have haste! I totally forgot that I do not have haste. Okay, so now I actually have to do this. I definitely got ahead of myself there. Now I have to do this here. But now it makes sense why they naturalized my survival before. But I guess I was 1 mana short. I assumed that I had haste. I got too excited because I needed 1 more mana. Notably, my opponent does not have haste yet either, so at least there's that going for us. Finally pitch the anger, and they do have haste. So we'll see if they're able to assemble enough mana to get something going. If they don't answer my sharpshooter in this very turn, we're gonna be in good shape. This game has been fantastic, super back and forth, lots of tight spots. It's been a lot of fun. Masticore. So we need to find any creature. That's a good one. It's definitely quite a good one. I'm gonna hope that I can do some stuff here. They don't yet have enough, so this sharpshooter is gonna be able to slow down their game plan. Once again, we see why. Like, I think if my opponent were playing, oh, Phantom not too good. That's interesting. If they were playing like a different version of the deck, like the one that I have been working on, I feel like they would be in much better shape because they would be able to like spam a bunch of walls, which not only would keep this Carrion Feeder in check, but it would also allow them to actually pull ahead with this Gaia's Cradle. Plain and Tuco, which is an insect. That's so funny. This engineered plague has been doing so much work. That's hilarious. Okay, so they put a counter, which is fine. Ping for 1, that takes a counter. And now I just sack this Elder, get the untap and ping this guy again. That's absolutely hilarious. So let's get 2 green sources here. Down to 8, by the way. I cannot really mess around too much, to be honest. Sure, they get to draw another card, kind of whatever. So I guess if I find Rector, what does that do? Rector plus, cannot assemble the combo here. I can pitch this bird to go find Anger, then pitch Anger, go find the Rector, and then have the Rector sit in play. And at a moment's notice, I can go find Bombardment, or at that point, any Mana Dork would be lethal. Or any creature at all would be lethal. So Anger, pitch Anger, get Rector, cast Rector. All this time the feeder boy is getting in there. Shout out to the sharpest of shooters. The sharpest of all shooters has been sharply shooting, if I may say so. Winter Orb, pretty good, but I think it's too late for that one to matter. Let's untap. I guess I want to untap a black source. Tabby's not a bad one. So, like, this is not... Like, this actually allows me to swing with Rector now. So it's low-key helping me out. Alright. Oh, wait. I missed lethal, right? I mean, I don't think it matters because my opponent's locked under their own Winter Orb now. But I could have gotten... Yeah, because I could have made an infinitely large Carrion Feeder that turn. So I did miss lethal. I don't think it's going to matter because of the Winter Orb, but nevertheless, shouldn't have happened. I'm gonna place the land. I mean, there's nothing they can play that actually matters, so... And finally, on the very last of turns, we are able, ping here, assemble the Pebbles combo. Say yes, get Enduring Renewal. Now we're gonna get an infinitely large Burrow with infinite pings for what's worth. Sacrifice Llanowar, Llanowar triggers, gets back, play a dude, do the thing again, and... Oh boy, this was very, very, very cool. This deserves 3 varies at the least, because this was sick, not gonna lie. Super, super fun. Really, really good performance, I have to say. For the very first round, it was very, very good. Alright folks, let's wrap this up, and before we do so, I want to shout out SamuraiFunn, who has been actually playing, I forgot to say this in the intro unfortunately, but he's been playing this deck for a long time, and he put together a Naya version of the deck, which looks very, very cool. It's much more towards the just jam threats until one sticks aspect of the deck, so it doesn't have therapy as a way to help push through the combo or to help push through your threats and stuff, but I do think that it looks very, very cool, and yeah, they've been working on the deck for a while, so definitely check out the video. I did not know until I actually mentioned that I had put together this deck. I hadn't heard about them, and having checked the work that they've done, it's really, really cool, and I highly recommend it. Having said that, this version of the deck, man, that was a lot of fun. I had a really good time playing this deck. The amount of flying this deck has is kind of unreal. It's so crazy that you can do so much stuff. Like Rector allows for so many like crazy things. Like Rector into Wave, man, like this was such a great idea. So thank you, McLean, for suggesting it. This just gives so many outs, which are pretty sweet. Like it just really turns the Rector into more of a toolboxy kind of card. Like, it gives you so many more angles that I really, really love that aspect in particular. Besides that, the deck looked very, very solid. Sharpshooter was probably the single most, the biggest overperformer this entire league. It did so much work. The bombardment was naturally fantastic. Like, whenever I drew it, it was just like, oh yeah, this is actually sick right now. I really wish that we could make room for some more Wall of Blossoms like style cards, because I feel like that's when a lot of the strength of the card really comes into play. And honestly, like, the spell suite felt very reasonable. Carrion Feeder plus Therapies seemed like a good enough sack outlet, besides bombardment of course, but it was like a solid amount of sack outlets. I don't think I would want to have access to a second feeder. Like, the one seems okay. And since this is unlike the other Academy Rector deck that I have played in the past, unlike that one, which in order to combo requires you to sack over and over and over again, this one is just like you sack Rector once and that's it. So Cabal Therapy is actually an extremely powerful sack outlet in this shell, which in the other one it's just really mediocre. Really stoked about Cabal Therapy here. I feel like that is the biggest thing, the biggest reason to move into black. Obviously having access to feeder is fantastic, but I feel like this card is much less important than just having Cabal Therapy. I was surprised at the amount of times that I just entirely cut out the combo and just became like a survival control deck that just delivered the 2-2 beatdown. So that aspect of the deck cannot be understated. I feel like you're gonna win a lot of games in that angle, and then all of a sudden, whenever you're ready, boom, you just go for it and you just combo out of nowhere. So really cool. Very stoked about this deck in particular. And honestly, I had not thought about the fact that even when you don't have bombardment, feeder plus sharpshooter online is already enough to combo with Enduring Renewal in like a dork plus anger or the random shield sphere. I missed in that last match, I missed lethal, but that literally did not see the line, to be honest with you. But now that I understand the deck a little bit better, I feel like I could have taken some different lines during the previous matches, and I may have been able to do better. Obviously, when you're playing a 4 City of Brass deck and you get paired against Burn and you draw 3 City of Brasses as your lands, that's just how it's gonna go. Also, you know, Price of Progress just completely wrecks this deck, so I feel like the Burn matchup is just gonna suck regardless. And notably, Sphere of Law didn't come into play, but Radiance Dragoons wouldn't have saved me anyway. I do feel like that game one, if I had assumed that my opponent was on Burn instead of assuming that they were on Goblins, I would have been able to win, because I ended up going for a turn 1 City of Brass, I think, or a turn 2 City of Brass, can't remember, and those little points of damage were the ones that kept me away from actually comboing out when the time was there. So I would have been able to get there had I played differently. The other match that we lost against the black deck, I mean, my opponent had the turn 1 Phyrexian Furnace. that's just how it's gonna go. And funnily enough, I was talking to my opponent and they had like a bunch of Nether Void. What is it? It's not Nether Void. That's the old school card, but like the 1 mana enchantment. And I was telling them, like, you should just not be playing that. Like, it would have been like I would have been able to combo through because just like the way that it works, you can just like stack the triggers in such a way that it wouldn't have interacted with me in any way with the Enduring Renewal combo if I had left it in, nor with the Rector. So that's pretty funny, and that's definitely a reason to not be playing that card. I feel like just Phyrexian Furnace is infinitely better by so much. So even if you're playing a mono black deck, I still recommend that you play 4 Furnaces because before you even play the first copy of the Nether something card. But yeah, that matchup felt like it was basically, it comes down to that. Like, if they draw the Phyrexian Furnace, then we are kind of screwed, and if they don't, we just run away with the game with survival. So I feel like that kind of matchup is just gonna be very hit or miss. So nevertheless, the deck just really worked out very well against Dreadnought. I was surprised by how good it did against Dreadnought. That winning remote to 5 was kind of crazy, and then played against Dreadnought the second time, which you know, really solidifies that there is at least a game plan. Obviously, you are relying a little bit more on resolving survival, but it's a lot easier to resolve survival when you have Cabal Therapy to back it up and Mesmeric Fiends. So in terms of cards that I would want to see, I feel like a second copy of Mesmeric Fiend is very high on the list. That's probably like the 61st card in the deck. It's possible, like I didn't see Exalted Angel did not come up ever. So maybe this is just cuter than it is good. So this could be a reason to cut this. The Range Hermit was actually pretty good whenever I drew it. I don't think that you can really go the Genesis route with this deck. The mana is just way too awkward and way too painful to really take a solid advantage of Genesis. So I don't think playing Genesis in the sideboard is going to be a good way to go. But Color of the Claw is a card that I was thinking about, especially because it basically doubles all of your death triggers whenever you're doing bombardment stuff. And because, you know, obviously you can just like Carrion Feeder, infinite dudes if you need to, although that part of the combo seems like redundant. So I don't think you're ever going to need that. Being able to just like value Sharpshooter, bombardment, just go off and then like double those triggers, or play around sweepers, which we actually did not play against any sweepers. I'm not sure if sweepers are legitimately very good against us, like Wrath of God style cards. Pyroclasm seems like it would be really mid, actually. It wouldn't be super great. Maybe that's a reason to play Exalted Angel over the Range Hermit, but like, I mean, more walls is really what I want the most, right? Like, so extra Mesmeric Fiends and extra walls would be the things that I would want to add the most. Maybe the split of Wall of Roots and Wall of Blossoms should be just more towards the Blossom side of things, but just like the singleton Wall of Roots seems like such high value. This also in the beginning I only had like 4 elves, and then I ended up seeing that when I play in survival decks I end up tutoring for Wall of Roots fairly often, so the single copy of Wall of Roots just has too much value to not run. So even though it doesn't actually combo with the Pebbles thing, I still think that it's worth just cutting a Llanowar Elf for Wall of Roots. All in all, I feel like there's still some more tuning to do with the deck, but that's the first place that I would go. Like Wall of Blossoms, number 3, and potentially even 4, and then Mesmeric Fiend, number 2, maybe even 3. I don't know, I'm not sure. But those were the cards that I feel like really make the deck hum and really allow you to accept. They work really well for both game plans, right? Like for one game plan, and the amount of value that these random like 0/4s have just like sitting in there, not only doing blocking, but also when you finally put a bombardment in play, all of a sudden these turns into pings, and then if you have the Sharpshooter, then those turns into double pings. It worked really well when I played against Stasis, and we saw that exact same thing in action. Very, very cool, very exciting new deck that I have not really seen much development in this area besides what SamuraiFunn has been working on. So very, very excited to keep working on this one. But that's gonna be it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care, and long live Premodern. Bye bye.